Hey everybody. So there's a lot of stuff flying around social media about how the pandemic is this sort of wonderful opportunity for people to get some rest, to get caught up with themselves, to unpack some things emotionally or energetically that they've been carrying with them, to think very seriously and deeply about their life and their path and, kind of finding their path and not delaying any longer, all those things. So, um, and that may all be true for some of us. I mean, often I feel like that's a pretty privileged view, or a little bit of a dissociative view of something that's really, really difficult. And I'm particularly worried about that messaging for people who are just suffering right now, who are in a survivalist zone, super worried about money, constricted and compressed inside of their homes with all kinds of anxieties from the past and from the present, all accumulating at the same time. And just trying to make it through. Like in my experience, my greatest trip in terms of expansion, my greatest movement in the direction of my own evolution, it usually didn't happen when I was feeling unsafe and survivalistic. Usually that was more constricted and compressed, and it was all I could do was to just sort of get through it. And then I would feel profound relief at the end of it, and then kind of go back to trying to find some measure of safety in the world. And then once I felt safe and secure again, then I started moving towards a more authentic consciousness, away from a survivalist consciousness. So I guess this is just my way of saying that if it's not your experience, that this is a wonderful opportunity to create a new, healthier normal. And that if really what you're just needing to do is just acknowledge how hard this is and to be true to those feelings and to move those feelings if you can and hold on if you can't and brace yourself, whatever you have to do, that it's totally okay. You know, my concern is that you get this kind of internet presentation of how people are having an amazing time in the heart of the pandemic, growing in leaps and bounds and finding a new healthy normal. It's also becomes kind of a branded trip, and then people who are having a hard time feel even worse, shamed and made to feel as though they just can't figure out how to turn this into a positive experience. So if you're having that experience, and feeling badly about it because you're not presenting yourself as somebody who's figured out a way to turn this into a wonderful thing that's going to help humanity to move to the next level in its evolutionary process, don't feel badly. Most of those people are probably lying. Um, and the ones that aren't, they're having whatever experience they're having. But I think for most of us, this is a really uncomfortable and unpleasant thing that's quite shocking to the way we've organized reality, quite painful, quite scary, quite disorienting and confusing. And we don't need to add, anything else to that. We don't need to add some feeling that some way in which we're approaching this just isn't quite cool enough or quite evolved enough, quite evolutionary enough, whatever it is. We just need to support each other in getting through this. We will get through this, I think, sooner rather than later. I really do. I really believe that. But it's okay to be where we are, and just it's a huge thing just to get through it. Just want to validate that in case that's of some use to you. Okay.